One of the dumbest lies that these women who preach about toxic masculinity say is when they say things like, oh, it's okay for men to be emotional. I want my man to be emotional. I want him to vent to me. Be so for real. You do not want an emotional man. You actually find them repulsive. So sorry to all the men that had to endure that time period where being masculine was the absolute worst character trait you could have. We're kind of still going through that, but I feel like we're kind of coming out of it. But do not listen to these women. They do not want you to be emotional. They are lying to themselves. I am a woman that's not mentally ill. I talk to a lot of other non-mentally ill women on a daily basis, and we all agree that venting is very unattractive. Being hyper emotional as a man is very unattractive. And the thing is, these women that preach about toxic masculinity are actually attracted to stoicism. They are actually attracted to masculinity, but they have to lie to themselves to fit within the sisterhood. So then they go find an emotional man and they end up hating the relationship. They are completely exhausted by the emotions. And they get so upset when you put men and women into boxes. And truthfully, I think that that's fake outrage. But the thing is, I'm emotional as a woman. Most women are emotional. If my husband was also super emotional, this would never work. It would be exhausting. So how about we just celebrate the differences? How about we just celebrate the masculinity and the stoicism and say, oh, you know what? I need some of that in my life.
Name 3 countries.
3 countries?
Yeah.
Europe, America, Asia.
Countries?
Countries?
Countries.
Yeah, it's not continent, girl.
I'm sorry. Serbia, Japan, Tokyo.
Tokyo?
Is Tokyo not a country?
That's
Tokyo's
not a
in
country.
Japan.
Oh my gosh, a city in Japan. Sorry, I'm just blanking right now.
No.
Paris city.
It's not
France.
a country. Name 3 countries.
Italy, France, Spain. Italy, China, France.
You can't repeat.
Well, I don't know what.
Just throw out 3 new ones.
Come on.
I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of countries.
Yeah,
you
there's
got
like
this.
100.
You go to college, right?
I go to, yeah.
You go to college.
Yo.
I mean, you have to guess.
You go to
Italy,
college?
China, France. That's
You
all I
just
know.
said-
That's all I know.
Do you know what country you're in right now?
United States.
Okay. Yeah, and like, what's the one above the U.S.?
Canada.
And what's the one below? Below the United States?
Alaska. Antarctica. Whatever. No.
I'm sorry, what?
No,
Mexico,
like,
fucking us.
what is below the United States? What country?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, Mexico?
border.
Well, is Mexico's like to the side, no?
No, it's below us.
Mexico is not to the side, but
Well,
Well, she's not even embarrassed. Well, okay. If I don't know, that's fine.
And honestly, I don't think that you'd be catching so much flack if y'all weren't talking about how trash men were. As the caption here says, teens and college students can't name 3 countries. Y'all pride yourself on being better than the man and talking about how you're so much more superior than the man. And this is what we're getting. This is the superiority that we're supposed to look up to.
This mindset is why a lot of women are losing. No tea, no shade. If you are a woman who likes men, how you're being perceived by the opposite sex should matter to you. You should be like, you know what, I want to put my best foot forward so I don't come off as a woman who's undesirable. Now, should your world revolve around pleasing all men? No, I will never tell you that. However, if you're a single woman, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know if the man that you desire and that you want is watching your content. See, we put out things and we don't even think about who's consuming our content. You don't know who's watching. And I've heard of so many men disqualifying women because they found them on social media and did not like the stuff that they were posting. So of course you don't care about Earl down the street or Robert over here. But what if James, the James you want, the James you like, the provider James and all the James, the qualifications that you have for a man is watching your content and he's like, oh, this woman is a little nuts. All I'm saying is men in general do not care about what we say. They care about how we act, how we conduct ourselves, and how we carry ourselves. That's a very general statement, and that goes amongst most men. But we cannot sit here as straight women who want to be with men, who want to be married to men, who want children with men, and say that we don't care what men think. That's like wanting to get hired at a corporate job and saying, I don't care what these jobs think of me. I don't care if they like my resume. I don't care if they like me during the interview process. My world don't revolve around a job liking me. then you're not going to get hired, sis. I just teach y'all the rules of the game. When you sit down at Monopoly, if you don't play Monopoly, you're going to lose Monopoly. If you like football and you don't know the rules of the game of football, you're going to lose at football.
Well, they do know that the men that they want are watching their content. A lot of modern women, though, have become so self-absorbed that they think that what they're selling or what they're peddling is going to be appreciated by the men that they want that are watching their content. They think that they're so unique, so outside of the box, so empowered and so brave, that the man that they want that sees that is going to be like, whoa, I gotta have that. And unfortunately for them, that's just not true. They're trash.
A lot of us were raised by women who hate men. Women who had so much unresolved pain, bitterness, and trauma that they passed that hatred down. Nobody wanted to talk about it because it disrupts the narrative that women can do no wrong. But be honest, how many of y'all grew up hearing, don't depend on no man, all men are dogs, don't let no man play with you, men only want one thing, but not once did they tell you how to choose a good man. Not once did they tell you how to communicate with a man. Not once did they tell you that not all men are your enemy. The wild part about it is most of those women wasn't healing. They was projecting. They was recruiting you into their war against men that they started, that they lost, and that they never recovered from. Now whole generations of women is out here fighting battles that they never experienced. Blaming men they never even met. Getting into relationships already angry at somebody who isn't even in the room.
Your most attractive friends are single. Yep. Here's why. I know you know. I know you're thinking of that one friend, like that one Becky that you're like, she's hot as, but she literally has never had a boyfriend. Yeah, here's why. The boys, the men, the Jimmy, the John, the James are all afraid of getting their ego hurt, okay? Men go for who they can. And women go for who they want. And when you go for someone that you want, not knowing if they want you back, sometimes you get rejected. But because men are so scared of getting their ego hurt, they won't go for someone that they think will say no to them or will reject them. Because God forbid, Jimmy John Jr. has to get rejected. How is he going to explain that to his friends? He thinks he's Mucho Man. Girls don't just go for what they can. They have standards and they don't just go for, the bottom of the barrel, but men settle, and that's the truth.
A broke man is a dangerous man, and you have no business dating one. And I'm not talking about lavish dates and trips. I'm not talking about having a ridiculous standard and being shallow. I'm talking about the fact that when a man is at a point in his life and he is not able to do the most fundamental things for himself, he is at war with himself, and you will be the punching bag in the war that he is having in his own self. You do not want to be that. Society puts a lot of pressure on men to be providers, to be protectors, and their identity is associated with that. And when they cannot even do it at the most basic level for themselves, that is a problem for them. A lot of men, what they do, obviously, it's survival. They'll find a female that they will love bomb, they will convince to invest in their potential, to let them move in, to, let them put their stuff in her garage or use her address or any type of thing to get by. And here's what happens. Either you spend your time, your years, your youth, your money, your resources building this man up, and because he is not in a man's position, he does not feel like a man. And once he's built up, he will take all of your investment and go invest it in another woman who actually makes him feel like a man. Or what happened in my case is that he actually stays, but he develops a secret hatred towards you. It's a secret competition. Every chance he gets, he's trying to dim your light. He tries to tear you down. He speaks negatively of you, and he doesn't want people to think good things about you. It's because he's insecure in his own manhood. And when men are broke, they are not secure in their manhood. You need to leave that man alone. You need to let him go through his process. You need to let him do whatever he needs to do to get on his feet, but you are not the one to help him. If he has to go and sleep on other people's couches, so be it. If he has to go home for a short time, so be it. We've all been at low points in our life, but you, ma'am, don't need to be the one rescuing him. You are not Build-A-Bear. You are not Captain Save-A-Ho. You deserve to be loved, protected, provided, cared for, showered with gifts, showered with love. And I'm not being shallow. It doesn't have to be trips to Paris and Rome, although we don't refuse that. I am saying that when a man is not where he wants to be, it is never going to serve you. You are going to be the one paying for it. He is either going to build himself up and go somewhere else or stay where he's at and secretly resent you for it.
So you're thinking after, and I totally understand. You're not wanting to, quote unquote, build a man and all that. I get it. But after I build, you think that you're just going to come in here and I'm just going to pay for the gifts and the makeup and the hair and the nails, and even if we don't do the lavish vacation, you think I'm just going to allow you to just come up in here and just live off my money and me now be the Build-A-Bear when you said you weren't Build-A-Bear? You think I'm going to do that? No.
If men started saying, I don't date single moms, the way that women say, I don't date broke men, would that be seen as preference or prejudice?
It will be seen as prejudice by some women, I imagine, but preference by men. But the answer is it's preference.
I feel like just because a woman has a baby, that doesn't mean it's the end for them. Like, if it didn't work out with their baby daddy, they still have a chance to find their person. I love when men take on women with babies. Like, I'm like, that's amazing.
I think it would be seen as prejudice, although I think it's fair. I think if you don't want to date someone who has a baby, whether you're a woman or a man, I think that should be your choice, and I think it's completely fair.
Why is it not seen as prejudice when women don't want to date broke men?
Because you don't want anyone to be leeching off of you. I think men and women should be completely equal as far as like how much they work and bring to the table, but the truth is like women do carry children, and if they have to be out of work for a while, then the men should be able to make up for that. So I would not date someone who's broke.
Today we have business versus biddies. It's an important topic, so strap in. First we have Exhibit A, 49-year age difference between Mr. Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. Exhibit B, Sylvester Stallone and his wife. We have a 22-year difference. Exhibit C, Larry Ellison and his wife. We have a 47-year difference. Are you guys seeing a trend? The question that you're all wondering is your wife even born yet? Now, if we run this calculation through the fabric of the universe, quantum physics, some of the richest on the planet, and anything else you math geeks can come up with, the swift and easy answer is no. Focus on the business. Don't be chasing, start chasing that paper. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk today, and I will see you again tomorrow.
If your wife's been looking for an advent calendar, you can just get her this one. It's 12 days long, and you can just hang it on the tree right like this. And then every night she can just take one, and there'll be a surprise waiting for her.
Why are working women still expected to be full-time moms at home? People love to act like women have made so much progress. Women can work now, women can have careers. But most working women aren't just working. They're coming home to a second shift. Unpaid, unacknowledged, and completely expected. As a divorce lawyer, I see it all the time. Women with full-time jobs who are still managing 80% of the housework. The child care, the meal planning, the doctor's appointments, the emotional labor. She's pulling double duty, and what does society call it? Being a good wife. Men will say, ask for help. But why should she have to ask? If both of you live in the same house, both of you should clean it. If both of you made the kids, both of you should raise them. When men do bare minimum parenting, changing one diaper, packing one school lunch, they get praised like they just discovered fire. Meanwhile, a woman could run an entire household and still be asked, why don't you look nicer for your husband? Women are leaving marriages because they're tired of doing it all alone. Marriage is supposed to be a partnership, not an unspoken agreement that one person carries the entire weight.
Well, once again, I think you're only looking at it from one side of the floor, particularly when you talk about the question of why should I ask? Why should I have to ask for help? Well, because somebody might be doing it in a way that you don't think is complete. So a man does things and then he goes back to what he was doing. And then later on that night, he finds out that you're upset with him because you didn't do it the way that, or he didn't do it the way that you wanted him to do it. So you're not getting the quote unquote help in the house that you want or you need because he's not doing it to your standard. And you think that your standard in the house is law. And that's why you're unhappy. Are there men that are bums out there that are absolutely being couch potatoes? Yes. But there's a lot of situations where the woman is definitely the problem.
I appreciate y'all's patience, but it is time for a blue collar men are not hard to understand edition. You ready? Actually quite simple to understand. Beat them, let them fix something, tell them you're proud, and do not move the tool they just set down. They won't talk about their feelings much, but they'll rotate your tires, open your doors, and let you steal their favorite hoodie. That's their love language. He may not go to therapy, but he will walk around the house showing you his new favorite tool like it's a newborn baby. Hard-headed, but soft-hearted. They're loyal to their crew, their dog, and their favorite gas station. They're experts at complaining about work, but refusing to take a day off. And they're not big talkers unless it's about their toys or why the job would go faster if people would just listen. They're not difficult. They're just different.
Just picking up on the idea of sisterhood, do you think there's more of a mutual brotherhood between men or a mutual sisterhood between women?
Sisterhood between women.
If it's women, why is it often said that women can't get along with other women?
Oh, that's a good... Maybe I'm wrong. You know, you're right. Okay, this is what I mean by a sisterhood. Like, I think men have more genuine friendships. That's absolutely true. But men won't... When I think of the sisterhood, I think of women defending other women's bad behavior, and men don't really do that. Men will call someone out, he'll make fun of you, but that's a more genuine friendship because you're being honest with the person. Where women, we don't do that.
Do you think it's true that men will insult each other and not mean it, while women will compliment each other and not mean it?
Yes, that's true.
Would you ever get a prenup?
Yeah, it's like mandatory nowadays. But to be honest, you just got to get married without the state involved. That's the glitch. Just a bond between you, her, and God. And if she decides to be a slut, well, just leave her.
What about people that say you shouldn't get a prenup because divorce shouldn't even be in the question?
Well, being realistic, women are whores nowadays, and they have every incentive to leave, take your money. We know that they initiate something like 80% of the divorces, 90% of alimony goes to them. They have a higher likelihood of getting the children, so there's too much for them to benefit.
Yeah, it's a trap. Like, whenever you're getting married and a woman says, no, I'm not signing a prenup because it's not in my intention to get a divorce. It's a trap. Don't get married.
Titled, "My husband told me he hated me while we were being intimate.
Oh.
And now he's acting like it's not a big deal." This is my first Reddit post. It feels wild sharing this online, but I don't feel comfortable talking to my friends or family about it. I'm at a loss right now, and I truly do not know how to feel. My husband, 28 male, and I, 28 female, have been married for almost 2 years. Lately, it feels like we've been fighting about everything, both big and small. A few days ago, during an argument, I told him, for the first time, that it felt like he hated me. He immediately apologized, comforted me, and said that this wasn't true. He assured me that he loved me and never wanted me to feel that way. Later that same night, we went over to our neighbor's house to watch the UFC fights. We both had a few drinks while we were there. Nothing crazy, though. When we got home, we started being intimate. We've always had a playful and good dynamic in that area, and we're comfortable with each other. We both enjoyed some dirty talk with each other and have been doing it for years. But this time, something felt different. In the middle of us having sex, he leaned in close and whispered in my ear, quote, "I hate you." What? I froze, thinking surely I must have misheard him. But then he doubled down and said it again. "I hate you." I immediately told him to stop. I don't even think he realized I was so serious until I yelled at him to get off of me. I was completely shocked and couldn't even find the words to say to him in that moment. So I just ended up sleeping in the guest room that night. The next morning, we had plans to go to Costco. The car ride was silent and tense until I finally brought it up. I told him how weird and hurtful it was that he said that to me. He brushed it off, saying that he was just drunk, that he didn't mean it, and that it was just part of dirty talk. He convinced me that I was overreacting. But this wasn't the same as what we've done before. Not even close. Especially because earlier that very day, I told him it felt like he hated me.
Yeah.
And then he said those exact words during one of our most vulnerable moments. By the time we pulled into the Costco parking lot, I was crying. I told him I wasn't going inside, and I just sat in the car trying to process what had happened. I don't know if I'm overreacting, but I can't shake how wrong this feels. I keep replaying it in my head, and I just feel embarrassed and ashamed. The whole situation is so bizarre, it doesn't even feel real.
Yeah, I think he might have been, kind of using that as a little bit of a joke. I don't know, maybe to build some aggression into, the form of dirty talk. I think that would be weird. But like you said, we had just talked about this and you're bringing this up during this time. I don't know if that's the smartest thing that you can do. So yeah, I think he fumbled this one really, really bad. Don't do this.
I just had 5 grown men walk by, able-bodied men walk by as I struggle and help this poor mother with 3 children carry her stroller down the stairs. They just looked and kept walking. I'm literally like dropping my umbrella and everything. They just keep on walking.
Exactly 3 videos before this one was a news story about how a man that was a security guard was by a sidewalk by a bus station. That security guard saved a woman's life that was not paying attention. She was looking at her phone and about to cross the street right in front of a bus. In the video, you see this man reach out and grab her back with one hand onto the sidewalk, and then he uses his other hand to help keep her standing, but she ends up kind of crashing down to the floor anyways. This woman ended up pressing charges on this man for grabbing her the way that he did. And what was honestly up for debate, according to this woman and some people that were supporting her, was that that man should have asked for consent, that he shouldn't have touched her. So yeah, that's why. That's why a man is not going to handle your bags, and especially anything to do with a child, even if the child is not in the stroller. He doesn't want anything that could come back and fall back on him. It's women screaming for equality and trying to get men in trouble for basically just doing the things that they've always wanted to do, genuinely. That's the problem.
Good morning. On today's episode, I'm smiling so hard because I really love pissing y'all off. Like, it really makes my nipples hard knowing I get so much joy out of making y'all so upset. But I say that to say this. Remember when I got up here saying that these only ask for money from they don't like because they really giving they shit out for free? And you came in my comments and said, oh, you're pandering, and oh, you're a pick-me. I have some video footage I want to show y'all real quick. Hold on.
This one's for you, Brayden. Brayden, if I get a strike, you get the hit. You get the hit. Are you ready?
I don't want to hit. I don't want to. Gutter, please gutter. Please gutter.
Exhibit 1. This didn't have to do nothing. You came up to this and said, if I hit a strike, you get the hit. Not only did this not want to hit, congratulations to that man. He's really, really smart too. But you got tight and walked away. This is what these do. They give they shit away for free and make you simp stupid pay for this. That was free. I told y'all all that money is a facade. You'll give that away for free for free $99. This was willing to give her away for a strike? Said 3 strikes you're out. Said I don't want to hit. Exactly. This is how really do where I'm from. This is how they do. I love New Humble because like to get up here every day popping like they really like that. I told y'all this is what do. They play. And you get on my nerves trying to make these stupid lows feel higher than what they are. Didn't I tell y'all that this is what they do? Can I get an apology? Thank you, I know. And what's even funnier is this is on camera. So could you even imagine what's going on behind the scenes? Y'all forgot? I done fought a lot of before. I know how to really act for real. Bitches will go to a nigga's house. They ain't got to pay for her nails. She'll go to that house with 3 nails missing and still slurp that up. And that won't even pay for her cab home. I've seen it happen. I actually waited in the living room a couple times for a couple I'm not friends with no more. So this is how I know these things. Come on. Y'all think I'm going to sit here and lie to y'all? Y'all letting these play y'all for real, stupid.
So can we normalize you letting me borrow your husband and not in that way, you freaking weirdos?
What possible reason would a strong, independent woman have for needing to borrow somebody else's husband?
Like in the way where you both come over and he helps, hang my TV and lift all the heavy things and we drink wine at the same time.
I have an even better idea. How about someone figures out how to do all of those difficult things themselves, because someone else's husband and men in general are not your free workhorses just to be used for your convenience when you want them around.
And I'll make you both dinner and he can have a beer at the same time too. Like it's a win-win-win-win. But I need to borrow your husband.
No, this is just my opinion. But frankly, I am rather tired of a lot of women out there making the rest of us look rather bad, in addition to setting us back at least 50 years, if not more. Men are not something to be used just for a convenience when you need them. They are people. Do try to remember that.
Feminism screams empowerment, but the women who actually follow the ideology have no power at all. They're convinced that equality is the goal, but they end up copying the same toxic behavior they see in men, which is promiscuity and sleeping around. In the past, they hated the fact that women were treated as objects, but showing their body online and selling themselves objectifies them. They don't see that they're giving away their power to the men that are getting full access with no commitment and no effort required. And these women still think they're the ones running the show. And to make things even worse, the best qualities of a woman, modesty, softness, elegance, have been labeled as weakness. And most women actually believe that. Feminism didn't liberate women. It hijacked their identity and robbed them of their worth. And if you've fallen into this destructive mindset, it's time to step back into your original design. Click the link in my bio and I'll show you how. And remember, be feminine, not feminist.
Okay boys, fun fact about girls. The worst thing you can give us is space. The moment you let us learn to live without you, we'll forget that you ever exist.
Any guy that I talk to from now on has to go on minimum 3 dates before I get... Literally, as soon as you sleep with a guy, doesn't even ask you on dates anymore. And then as soon as you him, he wants nothing to do with you anymore. I'm just not letting men sexualize and objectify me anymore, even though it was my fault, and I let them do that, and I let them me after like 1 date. But listen, I'm done. You need to be 6 foot, make at least 6 figures a month, and you're taking me on dates, real in-person dates. Even though Ron, John, and Jeremy got to run through me in the backseat of their car for nothing, it doesn't matter anymore.
A lot of people make the mistake in marriage of thinking that everything needs to be 50-50. What I contribute to the house needs to be matched with what he contributes to the house. But that's not a very realistic standard. And putting that out there as something you're trying to achieve is only going to leave you disappointed. What you need to do is realize that each person has only so much capacity for giving in a particular day. So where I fall short in 1 day, my husband picks up. Where he falls short in 1 day, I pick up. And sometimes we're both not going to have it in us. So not everything gets done, and that's okay too.
I think it depends on not just the day, but more so what is the trend in general, right? Are you reciprocating what I'm putting out there? It doesn't have to be the same thing, like equal. Like if I put out, if I get 5 or 10 apples, then you got to put out 5 or 10 apples. Maybe you're saying, okay, well, I can bring grapes or oranges or whatever it is. It might be different, but you're putting effort into the relationship. I think that's what we need to be looking at.
I can't tell if women are saying they are the table because they really believe that, or they really just don't know what to bring to the table. But what I was taught a woman is supposed to bring to the table is, number 1, respect. Number 2, an open mind. Number 3, the ability to be taught and to be led. Number 3, assistance, support. Number 4, a good attitude. Be happy, be loving, be warm, be vulnerable. Okay? And then you're supposed to bring questions if you have them.
Okay? Be authentic, be selfless, be ready to give. Okay? Don't be looking for what you could take. Give as much as you can as a woman. Okay? And then everything that you gather from all of that, teach it to your children. Be prepared to teach those kids. Somebody once said to me, don't have children if you're not prepared to teach them what you learned. That hit deep for me.
Something I had no idea about until I moved in with a man, my husband, is that guys just like don't talk. Like they go hours without, and it's not because they're mad at you or because they think you're boring or because they would rather be talking to someone else. They're just chilling. They're just chilling. They don't need to talk to you all the time. You're going to have to get comfortable with silence, and you don't need to fill the silence if you don't want to. They're not going to. My husband just chimed in to say, babe, this isn't a guy or girl thing. Well, you know what? Okay. What?
This is what Alexa was.
Okay, maybe he's right. Maybe it's a personality thing. Well, what I realized about moving in with someone is that there are some people out there who aren't yappers. I needed to be comfortable with not feeling like I had to entertain him constantly. He just wanted to be left alone. And in the end, I came to love this because now once in a while, I say, hi, Dave, I'm going to read my book while I have dinner. Is that okay? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he watches YouTube. And we parallel play while eating dinner. And sometimes we have great conversations while we're eating dinner. But I realized that I actually really like not having to feel like I have to entertain somebody. And I can just exist in my space. But for the first couple months, I was like, oh my gosh, we're not talking all the time. Is our relationship bad? Is everything bad? Is this normal? So if you're wondering, is it normal? I'm not going to tell you. You have to decide for yourself. But in my case, yes, it was normal. And we have great conversations, but we don't need to talk all the time. There's something really nice in just basking in the ambiance of each other's presence. Like a nice blanket.
I don't think men should be paying child support anyway.
Okay.
I think it should be like half the duties is more important than the child support. I think.
Okay.
Like
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
If you keep the child for a month, I get them for a month.
I agree.
When they're with you, you pay for what they need. When they with me, I pay for what they need.
I agree with that.
You know, I just think half the duty.
I agree with that.
And I don't think child support should be a thing.
I think child support is for men who are not in the child's life at all. So like, and it's not by choice, like the woman taking the baby away. It's their choice. They don't want to be in the child's life for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. I think then they should pay child support because they're not supporting the kid financially. But I think if a dad or mother is like present and we're both getting the child 50-50, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, if we have 50-50 custody.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
And I got to pay child support.
I don't get that either.
Like, so I don't only have to pay for my time with the child, I have to pay for your time with the child. Like, it don't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either, if I'm being honest.
Women have made dating into, like, high-key prostitution. Like, y'all are really trying to slide it like it's not. Like, hey, I done gave you my time and my time costs. And they like, for a date? I feel like the date is the payment. Like, I feel like me taking you out to dinner, that's not enough compensation. You're like, no, I got bills to pay. I don't got time to waste. Ooh, why are you on this date? You didn't have to accept it. You could have said no. Like, I'm not in a place in my life where I can date right now. Like, y'all will accept dates and then want a man to pay for your time. Tell me that ain't prostitution. If y'all don't quit playing, if you just something that, just say that. Say this coach for sale. My time is for sale. Say I am a high key escort, but I want to keep it low key. Cause that's what y'all are giving.
Then yes, you could be broke and still have value to her.
Would you be with a man who's permanently broke?
I have been with men that were broke the whole
I didn't ask you if you had, ma'am. You realize that
yes,
women
I
are,
would. I'm answering your question.
This is
yes,
why
I
you don't.
would.
This is why a lot of you deserve men to just pump and dump you because you can't even tell the truth or answer questions. All you do is lie. And that's why men pump and dump you. And what shows me a good woman is when you can tell her the truth and she responds well to it. As much as you fight the lie, that's why men will pump and dump you or always leave you, because you fight so hard to lie.
You're asking me what I would
I'm
do.
still. He asked you not to interrupt me.
That I've made that choice before,
right.
and now you're telling me that I'm telling lies, and that is my experience.
No, you're a lot, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm telling you
That
the
is
honest
not a
truth. This is
lie.
why. So women, so you struggle with the truth. You struggle with communication skills. You struggle with integrity. You struggle with actually pinning down what is actual morals and what makes a man's and woman's natures different. So again, I'm gonna ask you this. If it does reduce the value of a man if he doesn't have money for a woman. Look, she's still talking. She can't even control. Ma'am, you're on mute and you don't even realize you're on mute because it doesn't matter. And if we follow you, it'll be to the end of the relationship. You'll break us apart. You'll break the kids. You'll break the family. That's why we have a reduction of families. That's why we have a reduction of relationships. And that's why we're having a reduction of baby making, because women are investing in themselves. Feminism pushed women to take care of themselves, but still expect men to take care of them. You want to be you don't want to be a traditional woman, but you want men to be traditional, and you'll refuse it. Ma'am, how does a woman lose her value? Is there a possibility? Hey, Stacey Prince, can you ask her? How can a woman?
Hold on, Elizabeth. Wait till he asks the question.
How does a woman lose value? If she doesn't lose value in the market by having sex with multiple men, how does a woman lose value?
At women as a monolith. I think women are very different. There's lots of different.
You're not answering
So
this
they want
question.
different things.
So ma'am, you keep talking about so let me tell you this. A fat woman loses value in the market. A woman who loses her looks loses value in the market. A woman who's had sex with multiple men.
Hey, Kanai, you up here?
To men in general, yeah, and I speak for men in general. Hey, Stacey Prince, do fat
Men
women
are
lose
not
value
a
to you?
monolith. Women are not a monolith.
Listen, give me a second. Hold on. Kanai. Is there anything that women can do to lose value in the dating market? Not in the eyes of one man, but in the eyes of most men. Are there things that women can do to hurt their dating value?
Yeah, 1,000 bodies.
Turbulence, people.
This woman, Haley Ringo Price, she posted, "Forgot I'm happily married and pregnant for a second there," and then a video of Joe Jonas. I mean, I wonder what her husband thinks of that. And if he thinks that it's funny or cool, then he is not a real man, because no man is going to let their woman say stuff like that unchecked. I'm not going to be with someone who makes comments like that openly. But look at the comment section. There are Christian women in the comment section. Top comment: tanned and shaved, also married with 5 kids. We can do it. What's tanned and shaved mean, Messiah? Why did you comment that? What do you mean by that? Here's another one. I went with my husband and I looked at him and I said, "I'm sorry," as Joe walked out. Yeah, you should be sorry, because what kind of behavior is this? What are you sorry for? That you wish you could have sex with Joe Jonas? Is that what you're saying? Like, is this are we okay with this as a culture? Is this where we've gotten to now? There are Christian women in this comment section. Here's another comment. "This is why men aren't getting married anymore." I agree. I wouldn't want to get married to anyone like this. "Fully waxed and glittery eyelids. All us married moms can do it." Do what? Do what? What are you going to do? Is this alluding to you're ready to cheat on your husband? This is the culture that we're in. "Listen, I'm married with 3 kids. Just dyed my hair. Been tanning. I got next Saturday, LOL, and I'll be with my mom and daughter, not even floor seating. Just gotta look my best when in the presence of Joe." That's really nice. Caitlin Sadler here. She got a Bible verse in her bio. First pictures with her husband. That's really good. That is great stuff. Listen, women, if you're doing this, you are the problem. Now, men, if you see your woman doing something like this, you need to have a conversation. No one should ever be joking about cheating on someone or, "Hey, I'm married unless." No. Especially if you're a Christian. Like, do you care what God thinks at all? Do you care what your spouse thinks at all? Do you care what kind of example you're setting for your children? Or are you so driven by your flesh that you're not just going to feel this way on the inside, but you're going to post about it We need shame culture back. If you post something like this, you should go viral because everyone says you're for the streets. You're not a good woman. You're not a woman of integrity. You're not anyone to look up to. You're acting like a hoe, and you should be shunned. That's my personal opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. This behavior's got to go. Shame on you, Haley Price.
To the untrained eye, that may come off as some innocent joke, but we all know every joke contains some true shit. I think it's time for us to look more closely into who we decided to marry. Because our initial impact, I was like, I don't really like this joke, but whatever. And then I go into the comment section. This is where things get interesting. Rose says, when my dad retired, my mom cried for a week. You gotta be kidding me, with 26.1 thousand likes. You know how much someone gotta hate you for them to cry for a whole week just because you retired? Mind you, retiring is a good thing. Boy, that's wild. But anyways, Mama Lynn says, nothing's going to be clean no matter how much you clean it for that entire week. Okay, so what? And if it's really that big of a deal, you sit down with your husband, you have a conversation. Hey, when I'm cleaning something, I don't need y'all to come and dirty it. And if y'all do dirty it, clean it up yourself. Jasmine90 says, so we all don't like our husbands to be at home. Yeah, of course y'all don't. Y'all just want workhorses. Y'all want men that go to work nonstop, pay all the bills. They never get to actually enjoy none of the money that they've made at said job. Like, how horrible of an individual you got to be to marry someone and not want to be around them in any way, shape, or form, especially for an extended period of time. And that comment got 9,000 plus likes. This is insane. Viola T says, mine recently retired and I am in hell. 15.9 thousand likes. Viola, why would you marry a man just to feel like you were in hell with him? The decisions y'all make. Y'all marry people y'all don't like. Y'all just marry men that are going to pay your bills and take care of you. It's not because you actually want to be with this person. You deserve to be in hell for that. Cody says, my husband works from home now, going on 4 years of it. Send help. 2,000 plus likes. After a while, it comes to a point where these things are not even jokes anymore. Too many women are saying the same thing. Like, there's no way. That God says, may this love never find me. And the creator that created the original video sent him this response with the stale face. Yeah, may that love never find me as well. Because why wouldn't you want to be around your partners, let alone someone you married? Kat says, no, because why would they do that? Because they got vacation or they want to be at home. They want to enjoy the money that they've made at this job. They've been working nonstop probably. That's why they would do that, Kat. Blue Lantern Berry says, what is it like to be married to someone you don't like? ? The creator of the original video says, I don't know, Blue Lantern Berry. My husband is a happy camper. Don't you worry, buddy. Yeah, their husbands are always happy campers when they doing some fuck online. I'll be damned. I'm working my ass off, breaking my damn back, and my wife is at home, taken care of. And instead of reciprocating, she's online making videos about hating the fact that I'm going to be home for a week. Get the out of here, man. Kale says, OMG, I found my people. You know, this is all fun and games until one of their husbands sees this post, see them in the comments on this post, and decide to, go his separate way. And then all of a sudden, men ain't. But you know what? I know they ain't gonna listen to what I'm saying, because I'm just a normal guy. Y'all keep the change.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, Lord.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, that's why I'm here.
I want to see you without the hat.
That's what y'all, the hat?
Yeah, you look like you would be a handsome guy without the hat. It's kind of hiding your face and your eyes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, boy. Oh, yeah. I want my balloon back. Yeah.
And I popped my balloon because when you walked in, it was like little Princy. Like,
Damn. So time out.
it was giving flamboyant. Damn.
Yeah, I'm flamboyant, but I'm not gay. So let's talk about that for a minute. Yeah, so if anybody got it confused, you can ask about me.
What do you mean by that?
A few moments later.
Hey, my next question, is this a match? It's a match for me.
Smash for me.
Keep checking her out.
After you, baby.
Interesting development. Different strokes for different folks. Definitely interesting. I don't know what to say. Wow.
As a lesbian, this is what men sound like to me. Hey, I'm not going to actively listen to you at all or show any interest toward your wants, needs, and desires while expecting you to be fully engaged in mine, and I'm going to dismiss you at every turn possible. Also, I can't pleasure you sexually, but I'm gonna beg for sex every day, and if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna whine like a little bitch.
Problem is, a lot of women don't lay out exactly what they need and want, though. It's this weird game that men have to play where the goalposts are constantly moving. The majority of men are not dismissive or selfish. They genuinely try to get to know the woman they're with as best they can. Plenty of them are patient and empathetic, and they care about what she's saying and what her needs are and what her wants are. A lot of men put their lady first well above their own wants and needs, but we never talk about that, do we? Instead, there's a bunch of videos making generalizations about all men doing this or all men doing that, which couldn't be further from the truth. We see plenty of women that ignore men's needs and wants in a relationship. I mean, you literally gave an example at the end of that video. That's a very common thing a lot of men deal with, but it's justified because it's women, right?
You see that video of the Asian dude who said that he's broke because he moved him and his girlfriend into their dream condo? Now he's door dashing every night so that he can afford her dream ring. Well, this is your reminder to be with a man who gets done.
She heard the story of a dude who spent all his money on a condo, and now he has the DoorDash every night on top of him working so that he can also afford her dream ring. She hears that story and she thinks, wow, what a nice story, instead of thinking the dude is obviously living beyond his means to impress a woman who knows he's living beyond his means to impress her, which isn't love. Because a woman who loved you wouldn't want you to be overworking yourself just so you could get her things, right? A woman who loved you wouldn't want you to come home from work and then have to go DoorDash on top of that just to go get her a ring. She'd be like, nah, bro, you're good. Like, I'll take whatever we can afford, yada, yada, yada. Maybe we can work out another way to where, yada, 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 maybe in a couple of years, something like that. Like, a lot of these women's fantasy is how much they can exploit a man. And I don't want to say I guarantee, but what are the odds that she ends up leaving this dude? Like, what are the odds? Like, what are the odds she leaves him before they get married, or if they get married, she leaves and takes the condo and the ring? What's the likelihood? I'm not saying I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they have a very lovely, fruitful relationship. But I don't know, because when a woman likes you, she wants you to spend time with her. But if your woman is okay with you going to work and DoorDashing on top of that to get her stuff, I'm not sure she likes you, buddy.
Like they keep on saying, these women view these men as slaves. These modern women view men as employees of their company. If a man's going to do this, or if he doesn't do this, then he doesn't care about you. That sort of nonsense. It's just shame. It's just trying to use their tongue to play on a man's ego and stupid stuff like that. That's really all that is. Don't fall into it. Don't break your back behind all this nonsense. These modern women, if they say stuff like that and do stuff like that, they really don't care.
My last relationship, we broke up because he asked me to marry him, but then he asked me to sign a prenuptial agreement, and I said absolutely not. I think that's bogus. I'm not gonna sign a piece of paper that says that if you leave me, I get nothing. Like, no, I think that I should have half of everything that you've worked your entire life for.
If you're a successful man and your girl does not want to sign a prenup, that is a walking red flag.
Basically, you're saying what's mine is yours and what's yours is prenupped. I've spoken about this before and I'll speak about it again. I am not here for the prenups.
Is it just me, or is the idea of asking a girl to sign a prenup incredibly offensive? And only one way. Like, if I asked someone to sign a prenup because I had some booming business, then I would be like, yeah, can you just sign this prenup because I don't want to lose all my money. But then if a guy asked me to sign a prenup, I would be like, I would call off the wedding. I would literally call off the wedding.
You would have called off the wedding if I asked you to sign a prenup?
Yeah, I'm not even joking.
My friend just went on his first date post-divorce, and he told me halfway through dinner, the girl let him know how much her rent was per month, how much her car payment was per month, and how much her clothing allowance typically is per month. What?
Okay, one question I would do, are you like a 50-50 guy, or are you like, I would provide?
So again, that all depends. I would say a relationship has its ups and downs. So whether that's 50-50, 60-40, 99-1, like it rotates. You know what I mean? Like if you're down and you are whatever, it may have to be 100-0.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Until you're ready to 70-30, whatever is comfortable. I'm very flexible. So I like being realistic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
I'm
yeah, I
not
like
saying
that.
it's 50-50. Like if you can't, I got you. Cause
Yeah.
we're a partner.
Exactly.
So I really like the word partner.
No, yeah. I like that. It's a good answer.
Okay.
And honestly, I like his response, particularly because a lot of times modern women try to lock a man into guarantees. He has to do this. He said he was going to do this. If he doesn't do it, then I have every right to divorce him. They say, whatever life throws at you, you be the man and you make my standard of living the same each and every day, period. There's no give. There's no leeway. There's no flexibility. But whenever the man starts to require of them, then all of a sudden, oh, well, this happened and, I broke my foot, or my shoe doesn't fit, or I can't get, enough shirts washed. And you're just like, what are you talking about? What does that have to do with anything? And it's just a web of stupidity. Anything and everything that I can come up with, not to keep my end of the bargain and do what I'm supposed to be doing, that's what I'm going to use. But are you a 50-50 or a provider man? And if you say 50-50, I don't want you. But if you're a provider man, you're expected to provide every single day for the rest of your life, period. Regardless of whether you're sick, hurt, going through a mental health issue for a little bit, I don't care. You as a man need to fulfill your responsibility. And then maybe after that, we can talk about getting you some help.